ask for the state governments to explain the reasons for inaction, at least from the 3rd of May. What is it that they have done? Okay, and provide adequate compensation, and especially with respect to women who've been gang raped, multiple. Okay, some entire districts, the reports are horrible. You can't even hear the stories, especially with power being cut off at night and then people being allowed to scream so that they can terrorize their neighbors and whatnot. All of this is going on. If not in broad daylight, let's call it the darkest hour of Indian democracy. This is happening. And some people, their shops are being looted in broad daylight with the police watching as hapless spectators. If this is not breakdown of constitutional machinery, I don't know what else is. So
Yes.
these are the two different petitions.
The radicalization in Bengal is a very old problem.
Correct.
Islamic radicalization was entirely led by the Sufis, and it's like next level radicalization, but we don't talk about it.
Correct.
So, in a historical context, let's say in a socio-political context of Bengal, why is it that Bengal is suffering so much and unable to put up any response to that?
See, there is a reason why the, let's call it Shama Prasad Mukherjee movement, so to speak, the Janasangh, it was formed in that particular state, right? It couldn't have been for any other reason. The reaction came from that state because the trigger and the cause and the action was from that particular state. Okay. Obviously, one can go back to the partition of Bengal in 1905 and then the subsequent radicalization, partly induced and subsequently how the founding, let's say, thinkers of Pakistan smelt an opportunity in creating, let's say, a specific enclave out of that particular place. And let's not forget that West Bengal today is adjacent to East Pakistan, okay, or erstwhile East Pakistan. So there are very good reasons. But the fact remains that post-independence, while we have focused on illegal migration in Assam, the fact is two other states have borne the brunt of illegal migration along with Assam. One is Tripura and the other is West Bengal. Okay. Most people don't even talk about Tripura when they speak of illegal migration, when in fact that state has borne the brunt of it. That's one of the reasons that BJP is in power in Tripura also. Okay. As far as West Bengal is concerned, at least since the 70s, there is a clear history of the left pampering illegal migrants of a specific demographic, okay, and trying to create a vote bank out of it, okay, and giving them ration cards and whatnot. In fact, the current chief minister was among the vocal voices who opposed the settlement of these illegal migrants. But ultimately, when they came to power, ultimately most people realized that they need this vote bank for them to survive. Because now you're looking at a demographic of anywhere between 27 to 30%, not all of which can be accounted by the fertility rates in Bengal of a particular community. It is artificially induced. It has been artificially increased in spite. That is the nature of this entire thing. Okay. Now that you've reached the critical figure of 27 to 30%, I think we are seeing a tipping point. Now we'll start seeing worse things. In fact, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, there were petitions in the High Court asking for the High Court to grant them permission to initiate what Durga processions, celebration processions, because the state government had actually banned it because it would obviously hurt a few sentiments. Similar petitions now we see in Madras High Court because apparently a Hanuman Jayanti procession or any other procession can't go through sensitive areas because apparently some of these processions are called festivals and celebration of sins by a certain community. Okay, so therefore in Bharat, the land of dharma, celebration of dharma has become celebration of sin because a certain identity doesn't has a serious problem with it. Now in Bengal, what has happened is at least over the last 3.5 to 4 years, I would say that the current chief minister has mollycoddled and pampered and emboldened these interests so much that I think this was waiting to happen. It's a sad thing that the center and the party which contested so vigorously in Bengal did not anticipate this. And even if they anticipated it, I don't think they did enough to ensure that their supporters have some means of protecting themselves after the elections, because surely it can't be anybody's case that anybody who contests an election can be absolutely sure of his victory. Okay. Be it in litigation or in elections, nobody can be sure of it.
It's not that the BJP supporters who are being attacked only, even the Hindus who voted TMC are being attacked in many places.
Exactly.
It's an open thing on anyone who's a Hindu is being attacked.
So I think you have touched the right point here, which is to say that this is not just about political affiliation. The demographic, the manner in which the terror has been carried out, now has acquired a clear, distinct, and irrefutable religious hue. Okay, from women being raped and being asked to chant Jai Shri Ram as they are being raped. Okay, it's almost as if these people are not living in West Bengal; they're living in Bangladesh. Okay, and in the Bangladesh of the 90s and 80s, which the Seema Muslim has spoken about in detail. Okay, this is what is happening. All of these atrocities sometimes are being committed in the presence of deities to basically give the impression, what can your deity do? We are doing this to you. This is happening. Okay, this is exactly the model that is being used in Bangladesh. Okay, with all this happening, according to me, Bangladesh is ripe for Kashmirization in another 5 to 10 years. And I wish that NRC was undertaken in this particular state with the same degree of eagerness and with the same degree of commitment as in Assam after having rectified the mistakes of Assam. Okay? Because the established racket for creating documentation for Muslim illegal migrants from Bangladesh has been in place for at least 3 decades. That's recorded history.
Yeah.
Okay. So I believe that this is one state which needs to be immediately looked into because it's strategically placed. It's extremely strategically placed. West Bengal and Assam, for all practical purposes, if India has two necks, this is the other neck. Okay, if Kashmir is one neck, this is the other neck. And both these have become flashpoints because of their proximity to a civilizational enemy.